Here we are at Extinction Rebellion in London. I'm going to try and join in with these women dancing. Alright, I'm ready. What am I? Hey, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, hey, yeah, hey.
Nothing else is working.
Okay. Working in order to what?
In order to change government policies around the world. We are at a point where we've known about climate change and the effects of it for a very long time. In fact, my entire lifetime. And things haven't been done. They've been done. Some things have been done, but rather slowly. And now we're at this point where a lot more needs to be done very quickly.
What's been done and what hasn't been done that could be done easily?
There have been things like carbon credits and taxes on gas, but not very much. There have been schemes in the past where the government for a while introduced sort of subsidies for renewables, but then the Tory government axed them. So that's one major thing, is to stop subsidising fossil fuels. There was one thing that I could ask government to do, is stop approving new fossil fuel mines or anything, and stop subsidising them and subsidise renewables. That would be a major start.
Okay, what do you say to people that question the science and the 97% consensus that climate change is man-made, or man-made climate change is making it worse?
What do I say to them? It's extraordinarily...
There are scientists who question it. There's consensus, but there are people who disagree.
Generally, the scientists who question it, either they question specific methodologies around specific studies, or they are funded by fossil fuel interests.
Okay.
If you look at the funding of who's saying what, it's very, very, very clear that the scientists who are...
And are the scientists on the other side not funded by perhaps big government that would benefit?
Big government?
From...
Have you tried to get a government grant before for science?
I haven't. But this is the counter-argument that I've heard from...
I know, it's hilarious, the fact that there's nobody doing this for profit.
Okay.
There's nobody doing this for profit. People are taking time off of using their holidays, their own money to do this. Nobody's profiting.
So the new emission charge in London...
The congestion charge.
There's the congestion charge, and on top of that there's the low emission zone, right?
I don't know about that.
Okay,
I'm not London now.
Okay, that's all right. There's a new charge for vehicles that are diesel, vehicles that are older than X amount of years old, to raise money and to put a cap on emissions in London. So that's a good thing in your eyes, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think things like that should be accompanied by support for doing something that is low carbon. So if you're going to tax emissions on diesel cars, then maybe you can introduce a subsidy for bikes or improve the public transportation. And I think that's something that most of the rebels here would agree with, that it's not about sort of punishing people, because there's a reason why people sort of use carbon heavy things. It's often the most convenient and cheapest thing. That's because of the way we structured things. If we use the funds that we get from taxing high carbon activities to make lower carbon activities easier and more accessible, then we can sort of tackle inequality at the same time.
So the vehicle industry is obviously targeted, or it comes to mind when we think of carbon emissions, but I've heard that beef and mass production farming actually contributes more to global warming than pollution from vehicles.
That's right, yeah.
So wouldn't we be better off becoming vegetarian than walking everywhere?
Why does it have to be better off? Why is it one thing?
It doesn't have to, you're right, it doesn't have to be one thing, but if that's the main culprit, shouldn't we be targeting that first?
I don't think you need to target one thing first. I mean, there's lots of people who are targeting meat eating as well, and it's not that I don't think the government should be introducing a rule that you're only allowed beef once a week. It's about, again, empowering...
But they're introducing rules about where you can drive your car, why not about what you can eat? If that's more to blame.
Because I don't think that would be an effective use. Because the thing about the vehicles and congestion charges is that there is a direct cost to high congestion in a city like this. There's asthma and pollution.
Okay, it's beyond just...
Yeah, and there's direct costs of beef as well, but it's on a sort of different scale and it's a bit more spread out. It's sort of, that's getting into a different type of economics that is quite complicated, but basically that there's with tackling congestion, you're tackling quite a few things within a city that make a city not very livable. But with meat, I think governments should be doing things to encourage people to eat less meat, and there's lots of campaigns out there that do just that.
May I ask, do you eat meat?
I eat meat occasionally, and I
so
eat dairy occasionally.
You've taken a step towards consuming less meat and dairy products because of that?
So we eat maybe chicken once a week to once a month.
I think there are health benefits from that as well as the environmental benefits.
Well, and then that's a benefit to the NHS. That's an extra sort of cost off the NHS. If people eat less meat, then they'll have better health. And
they're all different positives. Well, thank you very much for speaking to me today.
Anytime.
Much appreciated. I hope we'll do it again. I'm usually here on a Sunday.